Hello everybody, welcome to another video from dmNorthTV. I am Jordo, and today we are going to take a look at a game from Wizkids Games. Our friends at Wizkids generously sent us a couple games to preview. So today we are going to be taking a look at Dungeon Scrawlers Heroes of Undermountain. This is a drawing board game. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch cameras here and take a look at what's inside the box. See you in a minute. Okay, so here we are on the other camera here, and you can see this is the preview box that Wizkids sent the game in. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at what's inside. So inside, we'll take all this goodies out of here. We will take the preview box, store it safely on the floor. Essentially what we got here is looks like some promotional material for the game itself. I'm guessing this would be more for a game store than me. But here's your little advertisement for the game. We got the lovely voting pencils that we just had a few elections here. These are the same pencils we use. So this is basically for the demo game, which is what this pad of goodies is. You can download this off the, I know it's on the Board Game Geek website. I assume it's on the WizKids website as well. But this is basically a way to kind of try the game out. It's a really small map here. Okay? So that's the preview stuff. This right here is the game itself, Dungeon Scrawlers Heroes of Undermountain. So inside the box, I did remove the plastic wrap ahead of time because we wanted to be efficient here. We've got the rule book, which we're going to take a look at in a couple minutes here. We've got a series of maps. Pardon me. Get rid of all that stuff. We've got a series of maps here. These are basically kind of a dry erase material. So you can draw right on them, erase them. There's a whole series of them. We don't need to go through all of them, but you can see there's a whole bunch of maps here. Nice thick stack. Also in the box, you've got, whoops, something that's popped out already. You've got your dry erase markers for the game, so you can keep using it. That's it. And then you've got some character cards and tokens. We'll take a look at the rules to see exactly what these are, but that is the contents. You got some maps, some markers, and some tokens. So we're going to cover some of the basics of how to play Dungeon Scrawlers Heroes of Undermountain. In this game, you're going to enter a maze, and you're going to have to get from point A to point B, and point A is usually the entrance, point B is usually a boss monster of some type. It'll be labeled on the game map. But basically, there are three basic rules to remember when you're playing this. You always must draw in a continuous line. You cannot lift your pen once or marker once you start. You must always keep the line you draw within the corridors of the room. So there are walls on these maps. You need to stay within the lines. Should be easy for us adults here. And finally, whenever you enter a room, you have to interact with all the elements inside of it. So each of those elements will have different rules, and you must do everything in there. That's the basic, the three basic rules of the game. We're going to go into a little bit more detail now, so stay tuned. Okay, so we talked about the basic rules of the game. Now we're going to talk about kind of the elements in the room that you're going to kind of come across. We're going to go over kind of the basic elements. There are advanced elements. You can kind of take a look at those on your own in the manual. But the basic things you're going to be coming across are monsters, spells, treasures, artifacts, and exotic plants. And each of these are going to allow you to score victory points, which is the end goal of the game here. So with monsters, you can see on the screen here the little guy. The way to defeat a monster is you must cover him in your marker. You must color him in completely. Each monster you defeat gives you 1 victory point. Spells, those are the little dotted squiggly lines that you'll see throughout the maps here. And when you enter the room with one of those, you must cast the spell. To cast the spell, you must trace the spell. So whatever shape you got there, you must trace it with your marker. Each spell you successfully cast will give you 1 victory point. Next is treasures. Treasures, as you can see here, are different. They're usually outlined in yellow, and you're going to see different shapes, different sizes of them. But to collect the treasure, you must trace the treasure. So go around that yellow line, essentially, is what you got to do. You do that, and for each treasure you collect, you will gain 1 victory point. This little series of numbers that you see here, these are what are called artifact fragments. Okay. What you're going to do is you need to collect all the fragments for and you're going to collect them in numerical order. So you can see here we've got numbers 1 through 6, and you're going to draw the line from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 6. Pretty easy. For every 3 stones you connect correctly, you are awarded 1 victory point. So get all 6 correctly and you get 2 victory points. These next things are called exotic plants. Exotic plants are littered throughout the dungeons here. All you got to do is cross through them. Do that and you get 1 victory point. Finally, we're going to come across the boss monster, and the boss monster is no different than any other monster. You just got to color him in from start to finish. You do that, and you are going to gain yourself usually 4 victory points, but it'll say on the map as to what you got there. That's the basics of Dungeon Scrawlers. So we're going to go over the characters here on Dungeon Scrawlers, and each of these characters are going to give your dungeon crawl, whatever you want to call it, you're gonna have a special ability. So as opposed to the regular rules in the vanilla game, each of the characters are going to do something different for you. So what we have on screen here is the cleric, and the cleric's special ability is when he's collecting artifacts, he can kind of do them in whatever order he wants, as opposed to normally you've got to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He just runs in and grabs them however he wants. Next, we have the Barbarian. The Barbarian is a fighting character, and his special ability is when you are fighting the monsters, you only need to hit the heads to defeat them, as opposed to normally you're scribbling the whole monster out. So he takes a little bit of a shortcut there, save you a little bit of time. The next character we're going to cover is the Rogue. The Rogue is a treasure hunting character, and when you need to capture a treasure or gain a treasure, instead of encircling it or tracing it, all you have to do is go through it. So she makes things a little bit easier to catch treasures. The next character we got here is the Wizard. The Wizard is a spellcaster, so instead of casting the spells by tracing them along the lines, all you need to do is go through them, draw a little circle, come out the other end, and you have cast the spell and gained the victory points for that ability. Finally, we have the Ranger. The Ranger allows you to collect more points for your exotic plants. Instead of 1 victory point, you are going to gain 2. And that's all the characters for Dungeon Scrawlers. And that's the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what we're doing here, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel. If you don't like what we're doing here, give us a thumbs down. Just give us some interaction. That's all we ask for. Stay tuned for some gameplay video coming up soon. Otherwise, check out Dungeon Scrawlers, Heroes of the Undermountain at your friendly local game store soon. See ya.